Hey, Woody. Good to see you, sir.
Hit the wrong button. I was trying to. All right. I was trying to mute the YouTube screen and I ended up pausing it.
Oh no! Yeah.
Hey, Woody. So Woody, I guess saying I'll be the audience tonight. Well, you don't want to come in, Woody? Come in and join us.
You come hang out with us, Woody. I'm gonna mix up my first Kahlua coffee drink, Mike. So I'm gonna turn off my camera, but my mic will be on and I'm listening. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So. Yeah. So.
I can still talk to you.
Yeah, I know. All right. So everybody who's in the chat room, the link is up. So if you guys want to go ahead and join BatGoat and me in the studio so we can all chat. You know, whatever neat anime, cartoons, comics, manga, pro wrestling. You know.
So this Kahlua is only 40 proof. That's 20%, as opposed to like vodka. That's 40 proof. Wait, how does that go again? Woody, help me out. It's a liqueur, so it'd be like 40 proof, yeah? So when I make a double shot Kahlua with my coffee, it's only equivalent to really one drink, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. And I just put up the link again for anybody who'd like to consider joining me and BatGoat tonight. I'll be right back. Got to go off camera for a quick sec. Be right back.
Okay, then I will let everyone know that I'm pouring half and half into my iced coffee. It's, this is going to sound lame, but I put a decaf pod in there because I had a Red Bull earlier, and I'm an old man. If I have too much caffeine, my heart will go off. So I'm doing a decaf iced coffee with Kahlua. I think it's going to be wonderful.
Love Kahlua. Woody was saying he loves Kahlua.
Everyone loves Kahlua. Well, everyone that likes to drink likes Kahlua. It's just such an easy drinking liqueur, and you put it in a coffee, and it's just.
I myself am not really much into alcohol. In fact,
that's good. You don't need to be. Yeah, that's fine. I know lots of people that don't drink just because they choose not to. That's fine.
Well, the whole idea of losing control is not exactly a big appealing point to me.
I know. That's like Jeremy Griggs from Geeks and Gamer feels the same way. So he's never drank. He's never done any drugs because that's his exact line. He's like, I don't ever want to feel like I don't have control. I'm like, man, I can understand that. That's a really good point. But I was 13 when I started drinking and getting high. It was a no-brainer. It's fun to do. So.
Don't leave me high. Don't leave me dry. Don't leave me high.
Sorry.
No problem. Oh, we got 5 people in here now. Let's say we're up to 6.
Okay, yeah, it is decaf, but I mean it's a real fresh iced brew coffee with real half and half and Kahlua for the sweetening.
Of course, as always, guys, I do like any and all likes and shares to help with the algorithm, help get the word out and stuff.
Woody, you're a whiskey man, aren't you? Don't you like your whiskey?
I guess you're asking Woody that,
yeah, real quick. He'll answer me back in the chat. It's cool. Keep going, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's Solid, and Solid's asking me something here. I've always walked the straight edge path myself.
Good for you, Solid.
Like CM Punk, the straight edge superstar.
Is he a straight edge guy?
Yeah. CM Punk, aka Phil Brooks, professional wrestler. He's basically been known for that, like throughout his entire wrestling career, even going back to his early days on the independent scene coming out of Chicago. When he'd wrestle out of the Midwest and move to the East Coast, stuff like that. So
I see that. Dude, don't get me wrong. I love my beer. It's just that as we get older, it's not as easy. When we were kids, oh man, I could drink all the beer I wanted. Not so easy anymore.
Yeah. You know, solid. If you have a you have like a VTube or an avatar, you can still join us. You know.
Or when you first click on the Streamlab thing, it'll bring you into the lobby. So you set everything up first, and you can check your mic, you can check your camera, or you can never turn the camera on or hit stop camera, and it'll ask you to put a picture. It'll ask you to fill in an avatar there. So if you want to do that, you can do voice. You can hang out with us with the voice if you want.
Yeah. Whiskey is good. You should try Spike Creek Honey Spice BatGoat.
I don't like whiskey. I get that people do. To me, it tastes like lighter fluid. I can't drink it. I'm not a man. I'm sorry, but I can do vodka straight. I've got a new bottle of Kelowna. I love Kelowna. It's such a good potato vodka. It's wonderful. You can drink it straight.
As I said, I'm putting up the link for you guys. The links up. I put it up like 3 times now. If you guys anybody would like to join, go to myself in the studio here and hang out, and we'll figure out stuff to talk about.
Well, there's 5 people here.
Yeah, you, me, Woody, Toys, and Solid.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm gonna hook up my microphone. I brought a very special. No, this is the real one. I brought a very special mic for my bros to see. So I'm gonna go off camera here for a second. I'm gonna hook this up. So Mike, are you rolling? You good to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? I got some work to do now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you, pretending you got a sliver. You're not fooling me, 'cause I can see the way you shake and shiver. You know you got a mystery to solve, so Scooby-Doo, be ready for your act. Don't hold back. And Scooby-Doo, you have yourself a Scooby snack. That's a fact. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, yeah, here are you. We're ready and you're willing. And we can count on you, be Scooby-Doo, and know we'll catch that villain.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Are we good? Are my levels good?
As far as I know, I can hear you.
Sound good?
Well.
All right. Okay. I was singing along with you. I was muted there, but I was singing the Scooby-Doo song. All right. Okay, so next week I'll try to get the potato cam going, but this week, my dudes, get out of the picture. That's the real mic. I don't. You see this quality sound I'm rocking? He's got his
own little mic stand, folks.
It's my own microphone. Look at that bad boy. It's the potato. Can you see it? There it is. The Potato Mic 3000. Huh? Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Sibyllus. Check 1 2. So tonight's show is brought to you. Don't pay no mind to the Blue Yeti.
Blue Yeti.
Well, yeah, this is a studio mic. This is a good mic.
Huh.
This is my real mic. This is the Potato Mic 3000. Toys likes it. I just saw that. He's LOLing me. Did I get the first BatGoat LOL on myself? Did I do it funny?
I guess you did.
Yay, me. I suppose I better start keeping track. In case my dudes start making funnies.
Yeah. I'm going to go off camera for just a moment here.
Let's see. Make sure everyone can see my potato mic. I am rocking. Oh, well, yeah, I've got all kinds of good studio and video stuff. I just don't use it. You guys have been in my channel. You see, I've only got like 9 videos up there. I just have a lot of video. I just haven't edited
You have 9 videos, and I think you have only 33 subscribers.
Mm-hmm. I believe that number would go up drastically if I put like my whole Colorado travel series up there. And I've got hundreds of hours of the driving to Colorado, actually driving from here in Minnesota to there. One time I mounted the camera up on the seat next to me, and then I did it 2 times. So like I had the whole trip in fast motion. It was fucking rad. It was so cool. I know people will dig it. And then I'm teaching myself how to like make my own music on the computer, and like I've got this thing called SoundForge, so I can use it like my editing program and like layer tracks. Even though I don't know what I'm doing, I can pull out like my melodica and like make notes, like piano notes, and then layer them. I don't know. I'm working on it. We'll see.
I think Axon's got a question for you here, BatGoat.
Does the mic come an authentic rubber? Are you saying like rubber band for voice modulation? I think so. Hello. Oh.
And
yeah. See, sometimes the mic stand doesn't. Okay, there we go. Hello.
Check, baby, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, baby, 1, 2, 3. Check, baby, 1, 2. Check, baby, 1. Wrong trigger. Because all I want to do is go boom, 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 and a zoom, zoom, and shake your little 90s action there.
Yes, sir.
We got 7 people in here tonight. Hello, everybody.
I did buy this mic a long time ago. I went to a toy website because I was thinking about this. I was planning on doing my own like little news show that never worked out. I've got some early like outtakes of it. It was kind of funny. And so I was going to sit there with this and just do other stuff to make fun of people that like YouTube right now. And I need to buy a pair of old like 60s, really crappy, like dual band headphones that you used to listen to in school and stuff. So this was sitting in my bag and I'm like, why don't I use this? And I made this up last week and I'm like, all right, this will be the sight gag for my dudes. And now it's my microphone.
Yeah.
In fact, if anyone knows where I can get a set of really old headphones, that would be rad. Toys, that sounds like something you'd have lying around for some reason. Like, yeah, these are my grandpa's old things from the 50s or something.
It's howdy doody time. Howdy doody.
It's howdy doody time.
Well, back in the 50s, Howdy Doody was a popular afternoon
he was the biggest, wasn't he? Howdy Doody, I think, for kids was he before Bozo?
Maybe. They might have been around the same time.
I think Howdy Doody was like the biggest for kids. What do you think, Woody? Bozo was big too. Cecil and Beanie was another big one, but like that wasn't the same kind of like variety type show where they had actual kids in their audience. Then there was that. It was East Coast only, but it was famous. I remember hearing a guy talking about this. I'm like, I remember hearing that song. I think it was out of New York, and the kids would sit around in the audience and they would sing "Kids Are People Too," wackadoo, wackadoo, wackadoo. Was that national? Do you remember that?
Not off the top of my head, but that might be before my time too.
Oh no, toys!
I used to have according to Toys here, I used to have an old pair of Autotronic headphones setting around in the basement. Lava until the flood.
That sucks, dude.
Now, BatGoat, since you spent your childhood in my neck of the woods here, Cal,
we did.
SoCal. I don't know if you remember. There was kind of a kids show on KNBC called Whitney and the Robot. I don't know if you remember that one.
I don't.
It would usually come on, I think, it was in the early 80s. Come on, I think, like 6:30 on Channel 4 NBC. Basically, it was about a cab driver who, you had this robot, right, that was sent to Earth from outer space, and he was put into the custody of a cab driver named Whitney, and of course they'd go around like, let's see.
Was it a cartoon?
No, it was a live action show. You had Whitney. You had can't even remember the robot's name. The robot kind of looked like maybe a slightly cheaper version of R2-D2.
Oh, I remember the excuse me. I remember the show that they had that little girl that it was supposed to be a Punky Brewster ripoff. She looked just like Punky Brewster, but they said she was an alien. It lasted like a season and a half because she was just so in your face and like it wasn't my favorite Martian was the old one. This was in the 80s. Anyone know what I'm talking about? It was like
was it a live action or was it a cartoon?
It was live action. Yeah, it was a sitcom. They were, like I said, they were trying to go against the Punky Brewster market because they had a short little girl with freckles and she was annoying AF. And it was a really bad show. It didn't last long. And we're talking the 80s, man. The 80s was laden with cheese.
Let's see. I don't know what you're there is a show from like late 80s, early 90s that I do know of that did have a redhead freckles girl, but she was a supporting character. She wasn't the star.
Yeah,
the show called Small Wonder. About the little girl who was the robot. Oh, somebody's here.
Well, yeah, that's the one I meant then. I didn't explain it right.
I don't think I have the bandwidth.
I just looked down and saw that he was in there, so I brought him in.
I can hear you fine, dude. Can you hear me all right?
I don't have the bandwidth to.
Oh, no. He was just saying I don't have the bandwidth and it cut off.
Oh, well. Well, if you can, try again later, Woody.
Or anyone else that wants to join us, jokers.
Yep.
There's 8 people watching.
Wow, we're up to 8 people.
Yeah, someone's got to join in.
Well, guys, I'll put it up again if you'd like to join us here in the studio.
I think those old school headphones that when they slammed. Remember that Mike and Woody probably remember this when they made you listen to like phonographs or take hearing tests back in public school in LA at least. You put on these headphones from the 60s that would slap on your head really hard, and they had these 2 metal things coming out like a V, and then the top was like a really gnarly band that would squeeze your head. They were horrible. I should try to get something like that. Yeah. Or an old like 30s aviator helmet type thing. No, that would be them.
Yeah. Yeah, I put the link up again if anybody else would like to try to join us. Yeah, so as I had mentioned before, one of the shows I've been recently watching was Super Friends. Yeah, I started watching Super Friends again. I'm up to the world's greatest Super Friends.
Meanwhile, that was my Super Friends voice.
Huh?
Meanwhile.
Oh, trying to do William Woodson right there?
I guess.
Narrator.
I don't know names like you do, Mike. You tell me.
Yeah, William Woodson was the guy who was the narrator for the Super Friends series.
Great pipes, that guy.
Yeah. I don't have the bandwidth to connect with my computer. Might go with the phone. All right. Well, if you can,
Is the phone the one that echoes, though, when he's on? Hey, Toys, should I leave it so like you can still see the Yeti while I'm pretending to talk in my potato mic? Is that better, or should I complete the illusion? Can you still hear me? Hey, where are my Patriots at? Who else is proud of Red Bull? I went out and bought a 4-pack of Red Bull tonight just because the CEO of Red Bull is the man. He told the SJWs to take a flying leap.
Yeah, I myself am more of a Monster man myself. I've tried Red Bull before, and I like Monster better.
I love Monster. Monster is far superior. The CEO of Red Bull deserves my business. That's why I went out and bought it today. He did a really good thing for all of us.
Oh, what he do?
One of his employees leaked out somewhat during Mando training that they had. They put up a picture and it like showed a map and it had a picture of China. It said, "This is where all our stuff is made." And I forget what the other country was. And then on Africa, it said all the zoo animals come from here, which is true. I mean, like most of the animals in the zoo come from Africa. So it was just dumb little, almost dad jokes, in my opinion. And so one of their high level employees took pictures of that, like clandestinely, and then sent it off to try to get him busted. And he was like, "Okay, you're fired." And she was crying on Twitter to no avail. And they're done. And this is the second time now this CEO for Red Bull has told SJWs to just pound sand. So I like Monster way better, but I'm drinking Red Bull from now on. That's how it works.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I've tried Red Bull before, just didn't care for the taste. I like the taste of Monster better. So
it's almost like pink grapefruity, whereas Monster is a little bit more like cough medicine-y. I love Monster.
Yeah. I think it's good either way. Yeah. Here, you want to read this, BatGoat? Because it's directed at you.
He said Monster Assault is the best, but it's hard to find. And I haven't heard of that, so I'll take your word for it because I do like Monster. Being my age and my weight now, I don't drink the Monster regular. So I like the low sugar, and then the zero sugar Monster in that white can tastes really funky. It's like really, really good. But it's like it's changing the taste of Monster so much, it's almost more like a Red Bull.
Yeah, in a way. Pretty much since all the lockdowns and stuff started, part of my daily routines. I go up every morning to my local liquor store, buy a green can of Monster, buy a can of Monster, and that's pretty much been my breakfast for the most part.
That's about the most unhealthy thing. I wish you didn't tell that to me. I'm gonna bug you about that you can't. It's so unhealthy. Anyways, I'm not a corpsman. I'm not doing preventative med. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes
you got a few years to go before you're 50, so it's all right.
Well, I'm 40. Yeah, I'm 45. Well, I had my appointment with my respiratory specialist yesterday. His big concern was more the fact that I'm not getting, a whole lot of exercise. I mean, I walk to and from the store. And I walk to get to where I need to be. But somebody's joining. Woody's again trying to join us.
There we go. You got it, Woody. You got to turn it around. You got to turn the.
No, I don't.
Oh, are you doing that on purpose?
Well, I guess I am. Let's see. I got my bid hit
you being
on.
Goofy there,
There it is. No, I don't.
Being shy.
You can always be number one. You can always be a winner.
Yeah, I guess that works.
Good to see you there, Woody.
Shouldn't be echoing too much. I mean, but if it is a little, let me know. I can do something.
Yeah.
You know what Toys just said? Mike, go ahead and read that.
Did I hear I go to my local liquor and get a can of liquor store.
Store. He's from LA. I'm from LA too. And so like living in that big of a city, and like if that's the only thing you've ever known, then like for us, long before the 7-Eleven started really early in LA. So we got those, but that was the only place where as kids you could go to buy a soda and a candy bar would be the liquor store. So it's just, I mean, that's what most people do is they just walk to their liquor store because they're everywhere.
Yeah, because here in California, actually throughout the states, they usually will have some form of like local liquor store, but it even though it's called a liquor store, it's more like a mini mart basically. You go there, as BatGoat said, you can go get snacks, you can go get like depending on the size, depending on what they choose to carry, like this one has candy, chips, jerky, soda.
That's my early memories. Is my brother and I and all our friends walking the 2 blocks down to 26th and Montana to go to the liquor store and buy our candy bars and our soda for $0.25 each.
Right.
Up hills both way in the snow. Yeah. No, there's no snow in LA.
And Woody looked like you just froze there.
Woody, you froze up on us. Yeah. Toys, that's the same in Minnesota too. And that's why I'm saying, like, he's talking like a native an Angelino, as they are called. See, when I first got to North Dakota and people said, we got to go buy off sale. I'm like, what the fuck is off sale? What do you mean you're buying? How do you buy in what, like a switch? I don't get it. We got to go to the package store and buy a box. What are you talking? I had no idea what people meant.
Woody left us again. I guess
yeah, it's his phone. So at toys, like your whole country is one big backwater hick state, which would be like in America too. So I live in the Midwest, which is what we're Canada South, or you guys are Minnesota North, something like that.
Well, from what I understand, if you go over to like Alberta, Saskatchewan, that's kind of like more like Montana and Wyoming.
Other than what, Toronto is the big city where all the American film companies go up to film because it's big enough. It has the waterfront. You see the big cities off of the water. Yeah. So it's beautiful to film it, and it's much cheaper and no taxes. And
Toronto, and then I know Vancouver is used a lot too for a lot
people do film in Vancouver as well too, but that's, there's a lot more trees. It's not as city-ish as Toronto's the big one. Am I correct on that, Toys?
In fact, if I recall correctly, I think I don't know if it's still running up in Canada, but there were 2 versions. There was one back in the 80s, and then they did they restarted it in the 2000s with like where you had the kids of the original characters, Degrassi High.
Yeah.
I remember the original Degrassi High was on PBS. You had like Joey Jeremiah, you had Snake Simpson, and you had Wheels. And then
never watched it. It didn't grab me like Goosebumps grabbed me. I loved Goosebumps, and think by this time I'd already, when all this stuff was on, I'm a young man and I'd already had my daughter, so it was easy for me to watch kids stuff. But like, Salute Your Shorts was one that I watched over Degrassi, and Howdy Dude. I loved Howdy Dude, or Hey Dude on what was that on
probably on Nickelodeon or one of its like Noggin or the End.
It wasn't Nick at Night. It was Nick on like Saturday when they used to do like their kind of anti-Saturday morning cartoons where they would put on all their cool shows on Saturday afternoon, right?
Yeah. Well, because I started watching Degrassi: The Next Generation when it was on the N. The N was like was kind of what I guess Teen Nick is now, but
okay. And I guess
Degrassi Next Generation it was basically the characters from back in the 80s were now adults and basically were following instead of following them as much, even though they were supporting characters in the Next Generation. In the Next Generation, we're following their kids. In fact, Snake became what they called a media immersion teacher, basically a computer science teacher.
Okay.
Toronto is the main city for Ontario. Yeah, and from what I remember too, I think like, let's see, there are a few shows that were taped that were probably filmed in Toronto. Like, I know there were probably some stuff that was filmed in Toronto for Highlander the series, as well as Forever Night.
A lot of movies too. That's what I just read that somewhere. I just know this to be somewhat factual, that we know that a lot of American companies go up there to film because it's cheaper for them. And and it's been like where a movie is going to be, say like a low budget action movie. They're going to want to make it look like a big city, but not use any cop cars that are going to identify your Chicago, your New York, or your LA, which for us Americans, it's easy to rule out. So when they go to Toronto and use that generic, beautiful skyline, they can kind of make you believe that you're in a big American city when you're not, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which, why did they do that? I don't know. Why did Disney shrink the photo of Finn for China?
Solid's asking me something here. Ottawa is the capital of the nation. Yeah, Ottawa.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Quebec is where on parle français, hein?
Quebec.
Juste un tout petit peu. Oui. On parle français maintenant? Non? D'accord.
Montreal, where, at the Montreal Forum is where Andre the Giant headlined a number of shows there for, throughout the 70s and early 80s, I think eventually he would headline some shows for Lutte Internationale, run by, of course, Gino Brito, Frank Valois, Dino Bravo.
Gino Burrito?
No, Gino Brito. Brito.
Okay.
Let's see. Silent Hill is filmed in Toronto, and Brantford, Ontario, The Land of the Dead, was in Toronto.
Cool.
Lots of good movies.
Quebec is where they speak bad French. That is true. As an American who grew up learning to speak French at a very young age in America and through school, and then I actually traveled to Paris a few times when I was young, listening to Canadians speak French is ear rape. It's really bad. It's nothing like Parisian French, or le français courant, as they called it, running French, which would mean like fluent French. Of course, the shit that I speak, I still use slang that is probably from the 80s, where if I would speak to someone, who's French now, they'd be like, that's weird. I don't know. That's what I guess.
I love LA. Da, 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 da.
We love it.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
Yeah. Too bad I don't know if anybody actually loves LA anymore though.
I love LA just because it's the city where I was born. I mean, that's my birthplace. I love LA, but I really don't want to live there.
Yeah, I've been I've been to Little Tokyo a couple times for the Nissan festival in August. I've been there a couple times in the last 10 years here. And you have to go over near the LA homeless shelter, right? And just the way that I'm sorry to have to say this, but the way that area looks, all the garbage and all the crap that it's almost like the Jolly Green Giant came along, squatted, and did his business. That's what that area just seemed like to me.
There are indeed some bad parts of LA. I've seen them.
Well, hey, look who just came in.
I saw that. I was waiting for you to see that. Yeah.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. Going to smoke out a lady. Okay.
He's packing a bowl with a pretty girl. I'm jealous.
Yeah. Should be back soon, I think.
Ain't on.
Sorry. Yeah, and then Woody said, "Sorry guys, my wireless hotspot drops to 600 kilobits per second after my quota is up." All right. How about that? I like how when you go to France with friends, and your friends are like, "We speak French," and you have to cringe inside, laugh out loud. The look on a French person's face, and you see the light pop on over their head. I dig it, and then solid saying anonymity. Hey, Anon, check out part 2 of my RDS playthrough when you get a chance. At in English or you're Canadian.
It's so true. And I hate to do this, but this is the only way I can compare it. And Steven Crowder would light me a new one, and he would start speaking really quick, whatever that French is, and he would make me look stupid. But it would probably only take me a couple days to get back up to my fluency because I worked there so long. But yeah, this is how I liken it to. Mike, you're from LA, Los Angeles, because Hollywood is there. It's considered the place in this country with the most flattest affect of any other place in this country, meaning like people have the least amount of what we consider an accent in Los Angeles. And it makes sense that Hollywood's there, right? So if you had never heard, I mean, you've seen the movies and stuff. So but the first time, say you talk to someone from Texas, and they're from, a small town in Texas and their accent's really strong, you'd be like, well, that's weird, right? Mm-hmm. Like it just would sound different. Maybe they would say different things. So that's kind of what I thought when I first started hearing Canadians speak fluent, and I could understand, but I'm like, why? It sounded like a Southern accent on the French language to me. So whoever I offend, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We have a couple of comments that came in. And MT was saying to Solid, I'll definitely give it a run through tonight before bed. I guess in response to him about his. And then BatGoat, Solid said something to you here.
So when Dankula visited LA, he said he saw hobos shooting up heroin on the street corners. I believe that. Solid. It's unfortunate.
Yeah,
it's true.
You could probably go to LA to see that. You could probably go up to San Francisco.
San Francisco, definitely. San Francisco is much worse than LA, from what I understand. But I mean, I haven't been there. I'm just going off what I see on YouTube.
Well, you know what I heard? Statistically, oh boy, statistically, San Francisco apparently is the feces capital of the United States.
It is. And those poop maps are true. And the people who try to say, it's not that bad, I was just there. Shut up. It is. The city literally puts out poop maps so you don't ruin your damn shoes. San Francisco is covered in shit. That is disgusting. That's gross. Uh-oh, we're freezing up.
Blake, I think the Jolly Green Giant decided to squat. Oh, we're freezing up?
I saw you freeze up, so I'm guessing I did too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just checked over on the YouTube side of it. I did see that a bit. Let's see. We have some more. Let's see. Anonymity says every city has hobos and heroin. Well, just to let you know that that's a synonym. That's the wrong spelling. The heroin you're talking about is without the E. The heroin you just put there is a female hero. just a heads up for you there.
Potato, Mike 3000. It's all the same.
Yeah, potato, tomato. Hell, in Cincy, when I was a kid, you have to check the light posts by the cars where you park because there'd be needles just sitting out. Ha ha ha. Yeah, don't know if that's too funny, but okay, I'll catch y'all soon. It's racist to send people to clean up the shit Francisco area.
Francisco. And you're right. Every city does have its bad areas, but nothing like LA. I mean, that's where I grew up, and I live in Minnesota. I lived in North Dakota. I've traveled all over the world with the Navy. I've been everywhere in this country except Texas. I don't know why I've never been to Texas. I've been all over, and every city has its little dinky BS crime part, but for the most part, they're not like Southern Cal or Northern Cal now.
San Fran is trying to compete with India.
That's funny.
I should let you read that because he directed that at you.
I laughed when I first saw that. Saw it. That's a good one.
After that, I spoke 4 languages: English, Mohawk, Ojibwe.
Ojibwe is how you pronounce it. Ojibwe.
Okay, Ojibwe, and bad English. Laugh out loud. I opted out of Canadian French.
Toys, are you Sioux, or do you live near Sioux communities? Is that why you speak Ojibwe? Just because I went to UND, so I know a little bit about the Sioux communities. University of North Dakota, the Fighting Sioux. We were the Fighting Sioux until the NCAA decided to stop being a sports scholastic organization and becoming a communist censoring organization. They took away the Fighting Sioux moniker. That was years ago. It was like 12 years ago. So I'm on the early end of hating woke BS.
Well, I mean, I think you know what happened with the Washington football team, right?
Did it go through? Like, I don't even care, just because they took away Fighting Sioux from me so many years ago, and that's my alma mater.
Well,
I mean,
okay, as you know, the Washington football team was at one time the
Washington Redskins. You are Ojibwe. Okay, that's cool, Toys. That's awesome.
Chief Wahoo. Chief Wahoo. That reminds me of Chief Wahoo McDaniel, the
Cleveland Indians.
Chief Wahoo McDaniel was a former professional wrestler and football player. I think he had a pretty good, solid college football career. I think he at one point in Vikings early on, and then just went into professional wrestling. Okay. And he'd have a lot of regional success, like throughout Texas, and he was a big star in the Mid-Atlantic area. Woody. Actually, I don't know if Woody would have seen him in the AWA territories. He had a couple since the AWA territories. One in the 70s briefly, and then one again in the late 80s, like kind of more at the very end of his career, or towards the end of his career. So
cool.
Yeah. BatGoat, Solid had something to say to you.
No, and Solid, that is extremely wrong, and Toys knows this too, and we've been going through this for years. It does not mean snake in the grass, the term Sioux. It's just it's a label for people. Right, Toys? Am I right? Well, my son told me that years ago when he was little, and I'm like, no, dude. Of course, both my son and daughter went to NDSU, North Dakota State University in Fargo, which is the mortal enemies of UND in Grand Forks.
Yeah. And, of course, Woody knew who exactly I was talking about, Wahoo McDaniel. Yep. Yeah. He was a big rival of Ric Flair early on in his career, so.
Thank you, Toys. It's like people saying, the Great Wall of China is the only man-made structure you can see. No, you cannot see the Great Wall from outer space. You cannot see anything man-made from outer space. Stop it. That's fact.
Yeah. BatGoat, Solid's got something to say to you.
Metal Gear did lie to you then. They did. They took a socially accepted lie, like I just gave you an example of, and they propagated it forward. That's what happens. I'm not mad. I'm just informing.
Propagated forward? What are you thinking?
I said propagated. That means to push something forward.
I was being facetious there.
The Kalua's going to my head. I'm trying to talk big and I sound dumb.
George, the jungle, strong as he can be. Watch out for that tree. George, the jungle, strong as he can be. Watch out for that tree. Yeah, it's a good night to be silly.
And he makes his escape up with the ape. Ape. Do.
You can see the light.
I have seen the light. It was like last week when I was freaking out, like what I'm doing right now. If you can see it on my face, I'm looking up at. I put a studio light in front of the table, so it's much better than the overhead light for the camera. And it's got the reflective thing on it. I shine the light into it, and it bounces back, right? And I just remember last week, I just kept looking at that and looking at it. And now I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, that hurts. How did I keep doing that? But that was because
well, if are you looking straight into the light?
Well, I'm looking into the tinfoil part where you can see the light bouncing off of it. If that makes sense. It's an umbrella with reflective on the one side.
So you're probably looking right into the glare of the light then, and that's
it hurts right now. But
your eyes, not doing your eyes any good.
Last week when I was panicking, I could focus on it because it was so bright, and I just remember that it was I was staring at that light. I remember that.
Yeah. Let's see what he says. When he gets in a scrape, he makes his escape with the help of his friend
an ape named Ape. That's what I tried to sing, but I messed it up. Thank you, Woody.
BatGoat's lighting is pretty good.
Thank you, sir. I try. And as I showed, even though I'm joking around, I do have my Yeti, and these are the good ones, the Audio Technicas. I've got crappy ones hooked up to my TV. Well, and then the little earbud ones too. That's just when I'm chatting with you, Mike, I put those on. They're more comfy.
Yeah. So we're pretty much at the end of February here, just Saturday and Sunday to go, and then we'll be into March. Be through the first 2 years, first 2 months of 2021. Things don't seem to be quite as bad thus far.
How come the media didn't freak out when Kid Toucher bombed Syria? Oh, what did the guy bombed Syria, and when Trump did it, people freaked out and were like, "Oh my God, it's going to be World War III." And then the kid sniffer does it, and they're like, "Oh, it's no biggie. It happens all the time."
Rules for thee.
No State of the Union State of the Onion undress, because there'd be such a bombing of tomatoes thrown at him. How funny would that be to throw rotten vegetables at someone like the old days?
Quite a mess they have to clean up. Here. I saw this. I didn't actually read I didn't actually read the story on it, but I saw this headline that I found kind of interesting. So apparently at the CPAC, the conservative,
CPAC,
apparently the organizers were begging people to wear their mask and they got jeered for it.
It's a room full of conservatives. Tell them to put their mask on. They're going to say, "I got your mask right here. Right here. You can mask these nuts." They said no. F you. I love it. I didn't hear about that, but that's really funny.
Yeah, but they're going, well, we have to follow the law. I think that though is part of the problem with why
it's an unconstitutional bullshit law.
Gotten such a bad rep because we've tried to play nice, we tried to play by the rules, we tried to play, by obeying the law.
Mm-hmm.
And when your opponent fights all out and you just fight because you're too worried about the rules of engagement, that's a problem. That's a losing effort.
Yeah, and yet they have toothless meth heads coming, just hunting down and killing our people. So, and no one really thinks that's a big deal.
Well, there's a bit of a civil war going on in the GOP right now.
Yeah,
because you have a lot of the rhino and establishment people who are like McConnell, being led by McConnell, who are trying to say, well, we got to move on from Trump. Trump's not here anymore. And of
it's
course,
not about the man. They don't get that it's not about the man. We're just saying his name because he was a great president. The way things ended were effed, but that's exactly what, like the showdown that they had orchestrated. It led up to that. Duh. And now it's not about the man anymore. It's about the movement. It's about how we feel as a people. It's about us being together in righteousness. Like, I hate saying that, but like, we are right. We are literally following the laws of human nature and biology and real science. And they're like, their reality, they're skewed. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like such a nightmare scenario.
BatGoat, you might want to read this.
I saw that solid. BLM equals Biden loves minors. The other one is burn, loot, murder.
Yeah.
Well, I think everyone knows how I feel about BLM since my son is a police officer, and that is a terrorist organization with the one goal to kill police officers in this country. So I find them all to be criminals, and I hate them, and that's about all I'll say.
Yeah. Well, you'd be ready if you saw them coming down the street with guns ready to cause havoc, right?
Oh, they're not the only ones with guns.
Yeah, I know. You've said before. That's why I was asking. You're ready if they were to come down your street with guns, looking to cause problems.
I'd like to think I'd have a little bit of warning, and I'd already bail out of here. I'd leave Prior Lake, and I'd go up to be with my daughter and my son-in-law at their house. They're in a nice, safe, very close to farm.
But anyways, let's move on from that before I end up saying something that I'll have to privately.
Yes. No in Minecraft scenarios. I keep like leaning forward, like I'm talking into this mic, even though this is like a pretend thing. I think it's real every once in a while. That's funny.
Well, you notice I do that too. I'll go back and forth and back and forth. You know, of course, I'm a rocker too, so I'm one of those.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's my
I
STEM
fidget
behavior.
all the time. Yeah.
That's my STEM behavior. I rock. So. Let's see.
Excuse me. I had a Jersey Mike sub tonight. It was yummy.
Yeah, I'll probably after the stream go up to the 7-Eleven and grab some dinner myself. So.
At least go to In-N-Out. Have a burger. Have a good burger.
Actually, I did have a burger earlier because my older sister treated me to lunch today. So,
nice. Where at?
Well, originally we were going to try to go to KFC, but they were not taking. They were only taking cash. They weren't taking. My sister didn't have cash on her, so we ended up going to Carl's Jr. instead. Most
stores are doing credit only now. They're trying to say cash is bad, but I think that's a lefty. Like we're like, there's no more change. There's F word plenty of change in this country. Don't listen to the lies. I have the receipts if you guys want to hear the old man tune his tinfoil hat, but there is no change shortage. That's BS. But anyways, yeah, most stores are doing. They're saying like we can't take cash anymore, which is another form of control. They put everything under your credit, and then it's easy to turn you off financially. Duh.
Laugh out loud! I had course of Greek chicken cooked by Chef Mike. Okay.
Anyone else have anything good on the menu tonight?
Well, I do know when I go to like the 7-Eleven I go to, they do have like some subs and stuff like that. I'll probably get one of the subs.
What is 7-Eleven famous for? It's famous for being the first what we think of like 24-hour convenience store in this country. Am I right on that? I believe so.
Yeah.
It's also famous for introducing the icy or the Slurpee rather as a like a regular drink for anyone. Because like as a kid, up until I remember when there weren't 7-Elevens. That's how old I am, Mike. And so when we could go get a Slurpee anytime, man, that was deluxe living.
Well, I'm sure that you and Woody probably were growing up in a time when soda shops were still very popular.
I'm a little past soda shop. I think even Woody is too. That's more like my stepdad remembers soda shop, and my mom does because she was in high school in the 50s, and I was in high
Like
school in
actually,
the 80s.
one of the things I do remember growing up as well is Thrifties would have the ice cream area.
Yes.
Where you go and you get a ice cream cone.
And they were cheap too. Like as kids, we'd go to Thrifty, and like mom was like, "Okay, we got to go to Thrifty's and buy you kids clothes." Like, "No, we don't want to buy clothes." But then we always knew that we get, because it was cheap too. You'd get like a scoop on a cone for $1, I think, and it was good ice cream too. But it was just limited flavors, so we loved going to Thrifty's.
Yeah, actually, one of the things I kind of miss, nowadays, and I know this is due in large part to the home gaming systems too. And you probably remember this, BatGoat. I know Woody would probably remember this a bit, maybe as well. Going to an arcade, going to a video game arcade. Like there was of course.
That's what I did all in my childhood. We rode our bikes to Westwood from Santa Monica. You know where Westwood is, where they premiere all the movies, and right next to UCLA. And there was like 2 or 3 really good arcades back in the 80s. That was fun.
Yeah. Well, when where I live here in the city I live in, when we had a mall here when I was a kid, they had an arcade called Noah's Arcade, and I used to go there. If I wasn't playing, I was usually watching somebody else play video games. But then, of course, we got to the late 80s there. You got Nintendo and Sega coming out.
Yeah.
And then nobody wanted to go to arcade. I remember...
Arcades is my era. That's definitely my era. So think about it. I was 12 years old when 1980 hit. And like between 1980 and 1983, brick and mortar arcades were at their absolute zenith back then.
Right.
So, I grew up in the perfect time. We were at the arcades all the time.
Right. It was kind of a good place to go hang out and just play video.
Yeah, that's what we did.
What he's saying, there were still some soda counters at the drugstores. They put a shot of cherry syrup on your Coke, of whip up a malt. Okay,
that's so cool, Woody.
OMG, I miss the arcades.
The only soda shop we had was I remember in Santa Monica we had an ice cream shop called Swenson's. I think that was big in LA. Did you know of Swenson's ice cream parlors?
I didn't.
Okay. They were kind of big, but by the time I went to college, I think they'd closed down or something.
Pinball games, video didn't exist. Yeah, video games didn't start coming out. I think they first started coming out in Japan, actually, in the late 70s, and then migrated to America in the 80s.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Woody,
Pinball Wizard, that's just what you see. Pinball Wizard, such a soulful wrist. And I may not have the music or the words down, but oh well.
Close enough.
Pong came out maybe 1973.
I think as far as it coming out, yeah, but as far as it being available, like as a
widespread
kid,
availability, probably.
And Woody, I have a really good memory. So when I definitely remember seeing Star Wars with my dad when I was 9 in 77. And so like the first time I remember seeing Pong, where you could they had it as like sit down type things in like upscale bars is what I remember. And like the adults would sit down and put their drinks down on it and then pump quarters in and play. And that would be like 75, 76. It's like arcades didn't make the scene till like what we're saying, like 1980 on the nuts is when they blew up overnight.
Well, and even some of those video games actually became cartoons as well. Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Super Mario Brothers a little later, of course.
I remember Asteroids was a little bit before Pac-Man. I remember that big time. That was the stick figure ship and you shoot asteroids across the screen.
Frogger.
Space Invaders.
Yeah. So Solid was telling me this. I remember first seeing the Street Fighter II arcade cabinet. Was intimidated by it.
Because it was so big, or because like the scary pictures on it solid, like the big fighting pictures.
There's a soda shop close to my house called Hewitt's. It's probably still there because they are huge ice cream manufacturers now.
That's cool. I would love
Space
to.
Invaders, Asteroids, Donkey Kong. They will make you all the old drinks and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is anyone else going to come in? Because I want to go fix
we
another.
know Woody tried, but his
anyone else? Toys?
ATC, would you like to come in and join us?
Because I just want to go make another drink.
Forgot to say I was a kid and a number of buttons. And the number of buttons to play it.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, Street Fighter was, as a kid, I didn't like playing those games because I saw people, the other kids that were good, and I thought there was some technique, and there wasn't. They were just button mashing like everyone else, and it didn't take me, it took me a long time. I had to grow up to realize that people button mash and claim to be or think that they're good.
Oh, so ATC is saying he's way too tired. So what, you didn't get a whole lot of rest from last night? Because I know you were a little run down last night, too. But I know probably for the last Wednesday and Thursday, it seemed like I think we were all kind of winding down a bit. Leto's here. Hey, Mike, Toys, BatGoat, Woody, Solid, and Anon. How are you? How you all?
Good to see you, dude.
And I guess you're going to work, or else you might decide to join us. There, you Leto?
Yeah, he's probably stepping out the door here, isn't he?
More than likely. More than likely, I'd be all else. See, yeah, we tired, laugh out loud.
The more we're talking about this, the more I'm fighting yawns.
I've been very low energy for the past week. Well, yeah, hopefully try to get some rest this weekend then. Oh, somebody's Woody's trying again here. Let's see.
Yeah.
Hey, Woody.
Hi.
So you think you get your technical issues all taken care of?
Well, I think as long as I don't try to look at the picture on my computer at the same time, I do get the bandwidth through my phone. So yeah, I'll be okay.
Cool.
We'll just have shaky cam here, so you guys drinking.
Oh, you're on your phone then, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so well, let's see. ATC saying hey Leto, and then Solid.
BatGoat a chance to go get a drink.
Okay, you got high ceilings like I do. I don't know if you can see behind me. They're about 18 feet high at the highest part of the pyramid.
Yeah, I got this interesting little cabin. It's about as tall as it is wide or deep.
There's no way to get the spider webs way up in the corner at 18 feet up. I'm going to have to call my son-in-law to bring his work ladder over or something.
Yeah. So Leto here saying I am as always, and then ATC Leto's got to watch his Moo Girls laugh out loud. Hey, Solid. And it sounds like I am echoing on your phone there, Woody.
All right. So you're live.
Yes,
what
we're
a nice
live.
Studio you've got here.
Yep.
StreamYards.
Yep.
So what else is new? Let's see. George of the Jungle, that was a good show. It had the Tom Slick going on and Super Chicken, I think, were the other two.
Yeah.
Three cartoon things.
Super Chicken!
When you find yourself in danger, when you're threatened by a stranger, when it looks like you will take a licking, there is someone waiting who will hurry up and rescue you. Just call for Super Chicken. If you're in trouble, Fred, you'll have to overlook it. Besides, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. He will drink his super sauce and throw the villains for a loss, and he will bring them back alive and kicking. I don't know the last verse. All right, that was a good one. All right, I'm done.
Yeah.
He's still whipping it up.
Yeah. Whip it. Whip it good. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, Devo was great. Yeah. The original Devo songs were good stuff.
All right, I'm going to start driving. I'll be listening, though. Okay, Leto. And laugh out loud is BatGoat making a drink with a hammer. Laugh out loud.
Drive safe.
BatGoat ATC just asked if you were making a drink with a hammer.
I left the microphone on, so you heard me slamming in the kitchen, didn't you?
Smashing the ice.
Slam. Butt da.
Sorry.
Let the boys. Slam. Yeah. So.
Crisscross will make you jump.
Jump. Crisscross will make you jump.
I lied to everyone. I actually am having my second Red Bull, so I'm doing a Red Bull vodka. I'm doing a real drink.
Red Bull vodka.
Yeah, that's a real drink. The kids, you know the kids with their hula hoops and their fax machines. I think they're into it.
Woody, did you hear BatGoat's story about the Red Bull CEO earlier?
No, that must have been while I was fumbling with my machinery here.
Why don't you tell Woody what you were telling us earlier about the Red Bull CEO?
So I think Quartering for sure did something on this, and maybe like Clownfish. The CEO of Red Bull, who already once, many months ago, before the election, told SJWs to pound sand, he said, take a flying leap, because they were telling him to do something. He was like, no. And so recently, one of their employees during a training session took pictures of a map they had up that said like China. It was like a joke map, to provide some levity. And it was a world map. And there's a picture of China. It said, this is where all the stuff is made. And then like a picture of Canada, and it said these are our friends to the north, and then like Africa, all the zoo animals come from here. So, but like the gorillas and tigers that go into the zoo come from Africa, which it's like a dad joke thing, which SJWs can look at and cry. But Kitty, hi Kitty,
the giraffe. Oh yeah.
Hi, Kitty.
She likes to eat my hair.
I see that. Kitty. Hello, Kitty. You're on YouTube right now, Kitty. Cats don't care. They're like, "What? I look this good always." That's how cats are. That's why they rule for YouTube.
They always at their best. Yeah, they keep clean, always groomed.
So this the person like took pictures of this map and like sent it off like in like probably social media or stuff to try to like slam dunk on the company or take them down, or she wrote a petition and did all this other stuff to be a pain in the ass basically, and then said, well, I got fired for political beliefs. No, you got fired because you're a pain in the ass and you like broke company rules. You probably took a picture of private training shit that you're not supposed to, like all these horrible things. And she's trying to claim like it's their fault. And so as of today, right now, Red Bull is like huge on the conservative this side. And everyone's like, this is the opposite of boycott. Go buy Red Bull. He's a good dude. He's consistently telling SJWs to pack sand. And you think about like Red Bull, like how many kids are into it, and like the extreme, the downhill challenges and all that stuff are usually kids, which like tend to be more, especially like the aggro extreme dudes. You'd think they'd be a little more left-leaning, but
I've never liked it.
I know, like
I mean, I mentioned that earlier too. It's like Monster. I never cared for the taste. I've tried it.
Monster is so much better, you guys, but like I'm not sacrificing. It's still good. This is a wonderful drink.
So Anonymity said, hey, I'm back. Evening, everyone. There's Woody. Kiki. I don't mess with Red Bull, but I'll buy them.
Good. If they get a little stock jump from this and like people start seeing, hey, this is for real, and they are boycotting and they're voting with their wallet, then it's, things will slowly start coming back to normal because money talks and BS walks.
This is just recent, huh? Yeah.
Wonder if they have stonked.
I bet they do. I would imagine they do.
But I guess that whole "don't be so white" was also someone just taking a picture during a training session at Coke, right?
Yeah, same thing. But I don't know. I don't know the behind story. I know it was it was a proposed
bunch of bullet things like that. Stop being competent. That's a white thing. Stuff like that.
Make sure to be
that's
late.
That's about how it looks to me, anyway.
Make sure to be late once
Caring
a week.
what you do, that's a white thing. Stop it.
That was bad. At least they got found out.
Oh boy.
Oh, here's the Anonymity is saying.
No,
I'm throwing some in Monster Energy Corp. Apparently, they own Red Bull.
You have to look it up. It's owned. It's a corporation. It's the CEO is a Swedish guy. I heard his name earlier today. It's backed by one dude and a board. It's a regular company. It has nothing to do with Monster. From what I understand.
Solid is saying something to you or asking you something here. You might want to read it.
Did you ever play Death Stranding and saw all the product placement of Monster? No, but you know where I saw Monster product placement was a driving game. I play a lot more driving games. A driving game called Dirt, which was very popular. Dirt went through Dirt 2 and Dirt 3, which was like off-road rally type racing. Very popular game. So that was I think that was sponsored by Monster. Monster is in a lot of the Xbox racing. And if you think about it, the green color and stuff, they were on one of the latest Need for Speed Undergrounds. They kept like every time you'd finish a mission, you'd meet up with all the kids and they'd walk around like cool hipsters and they would hand you monsters.
Yeah.
So it was big product placement.
A few years ago, when I got into watching NASCAR and the truck series and all that, racing. I do remember when Ricky Carmichael started racing in the truck series. Monster was his sponsor.
Kitty. Okay.
Well, I think it's co-owned by Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Lame. Woody, Solid's got a saying something to you here. You might want to read it if you can. Oh wait, you're not seeing the screen, are you?
No, I'm just in the studio right now. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll read it to you.
I can see that. Yeah, competent is also an Asian thing. Okay. I think that wasn't quite the words they used, but being proud of being competent.
Being Asian is being systematic.
That other thing that
mathematical.
Out of the Smithsonian thing too, we're sort of saying that having a family with a mom and dad, that's a white thing. I mean,
that's another BLM bullshit thing though, because sorry, Mike.
They took that down.
that big fat disgusting blob of a human being that said, "I'm a classically trained Marxist," and she was proud of herself for saying that, which is listen, bitch. Communists have killed 165 million people on this planet. That is a fact. You cannot argue it. Communism it's the worst form of anything on this planet as far as murdering people. So to claim that proudly is a really disgusting human trait, in my opinion.
Yeah. So Anonymity saying, think I found it back. Red Bull. Ha ha ha.
Put a hammer and sickle on your shirt though, and you won't get kicked off of Twitter.
That is true. That is true. If you want to make it in social media, you start singing a la 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 la.
Hell though, I can't even drink those energy drinks. They hurt my stomach so bad.
That's what I like about Red Bull is the smaller cans. So like I'm not tempted to pound. Man, when I would drink Monsters, 2 of those in a day, and I'm like, oh, there's a good chance I should go to the ER.
You know, a BatGoat. Even though it took me twice to learn this lesson, but back when I was still working.
Nice, Woody.
I drink these 32-ounce Millers.
That is beautiful.
Anyways,
is America.
Yeah. Back when I was still working, right? A couple of times when I'd be working on a graveyard shift, before my shift started, I'd get a Monster, and then towards the end of my shift, I'd get another Monster. So when I left at like 6:30 in the morning, I'm like, it's like, now I didn't apparently learn it strong enough the first time I did this. It took twice for me to really sink into my head that I can't have more than one energy drink in an 8-hour period. I got to at least give them 8 hours between drinks if I were to. But as I said, I only drink one a day anyways.
That is a beer. That is so rock star, Woody.
So anonymity.
Those 12-ounce beers, and I don't feel like I've drank anything.
That's a good point. That's why I like PBR tall boys, at least 16 ounces. I can't handle much more 16 ounces of a PBR. That's nasty.
So anonymity is here saying if anyone remembers those quarter cans of soda, those were perfect for me. Haha. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Dude, I was watching Dukes of Hazzard first run back when sodas cost a quarter.
Yeah. Does anyone even want to be on Twitter anymore? I'm not on Twitter anymore. I haven't been on Twitter over
literally,
a year.
dude, no one does. Like, that's why all these other social medias are coming out, right? Like Minds and Parler and Gad and all this stuff is getting popular.
Yeah, Parler's back up.
That's what I heard. So I think it's all an anti-Twitter, anti-Facebook movement. And there, Mike, you and I have talked about like the dual economy thing. It's not being so like black and white, like a big demarcation, but it's going to slowly start branching off that way. That like conservatives are just going to buy their own shit. And
right. Yeah. Miller High Life are pretty good according to anonymity there.
Miller High Life is a good beer. Same with Coors Banquet. Coors Banquet is a wonderful beer. Regular Budweiser is nasty. I drank a lot of that in college.
Yeah. BatGoat. Solid has something that he is saying to you here. You might want to read.
Solid says, once I consumed 2 Monsters in one day and it put me on edge. I can imagine.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
2 full Monsters that's too much.
Well, what's kind of funny, back in the 90s, just after I left high school, my first go through in college, right? There was a soda, and I don't know if it's still around nowadays, but there was a soda back then called Jolt Cola.
Yes, I remember.
And
Jolt.
That thing had, it lived up to its name, Jolt. It was like just after drinking one can, now, Grant,
all you needed was one can, dude, because it said right on the can, it said like 3 times the sugar and twice the caffeine. I think that was their motto or something. They were proud of it.
They had a lightning bolt for.
Yeah, and it sold really well. It's just I think they got too much heat from the conservatives, because that was still kind of a thing back then, like the tail ends of like the moral majority and crap like that. So like they had a tough run of it. There was also something called Death cigarettes. I remember way back when they were around for about a year or two, and it was a black pack of cigarettes with just a skull and crossbones and the warning on the back. I smoked those for quite some time because, I was young. Yeah.
So anonymity says here, I hope Twitter bites the dust and all those SJWs go to reset.
I'll drink to that. They can go to Reddit. They can all hang out on Reddit, and we will be fine with that.
Another one bites dust, and another one does, and another one does. Another one bites dust. Boom, 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 boom. Another one bites dust. Doing my little boxer impersonation.
Anon was talking about. Go ahead.
Okay. Natty Light is the nasty for me.
Natty Light
whatever
is
Natty
nasty.
Light is.
It's called Natural Light. It has like a blue shield on the front.
Okay. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's very cheap and it's very nasty.
Okay. They are starting to charge money. They are starting to charge money. Twitter.
Yeah, I think that idea. Even the SJWs are not happy with that because they're cheap. They're skinflints. They don't want to spend any money on their God-given right to preach TDS and whatnot. So, I think like they might not even implement it for a bit because they've gotten so much pushback on it, like charging for super treats. Yeah.
I enjoy High Life, Bud Light, Platinum, Budweiser's are okay, but always taste a little skunky.
Yeah, Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Stella Artois, Artois or whatever.
Artois
beers.
Stella Artois, Dunkel, and Killian's Irish Red is good. Oh, and room temp Guinness.
See,
Killian's is a Coors product.
It is, but it's good, and it's been around since the '80s. So, like that, I give it its props. But Anon's going into good beers there. So, like, I'm talking about good crappy beers, like good American hoppy. Like they're getting popular with like PBR is going up in price because the hipsters think that it's cool to taste hoppy, and it's like no, it's just crap. There's like Thanksgiving dinner in there, and it's always been like that, but like now it's popular. I don't know.
Yeah. So Anon's here saying, "Ha ha ha, get him, Mike." I guess that was his response to my little boxer impersonation there. Let's see. Natty Light is like $5 for a metric ton.
That is so true.
Ha ha ha! Twitter is going to die.
I remember in college we would get a suitcase, a case, a 24-pack of Schaefer for $6. So we'd be sitting around in the dorm rooms, and everyone would be like, "All right, fork dicks," and so like everyone had to pull out $1 change, and we'd just put it in a hat, and we'd scrape together $6 and go get a case of beer.
Yeah.
Coors was $1.50 a 6-pack when I started.
Oh man.
That sounds a lot of it. You could get it at 18. You could drink at 18 in Colorado back then.
Yeah.
3.2 beer.
I think in our lifetime we've seen the effects of inflation.
We started at 16 anyway.
13 for me. I remember when I went to college in Northern California right after I graduated for 2 years, and then I went to UND in Grand Forks, North Dakota. So the year that I got there in '88 was the first year that they went from 18 to 21. So I was like, really? Or it was like the second year or something like that. They had just recently gotten rid of 21 in North Dakota when I got there. They were like, North Dakota was one of the last holdout states on indoor smoking too. They believe it or not, North Dakota like does a big that to like, and yet they allowed the blue laws to affect that state until not long ago. They're so weird. I love North Dakota. My kids were born there.
Blue laws.
You can't. It's like church blue laws. You can't.
Morality.
Okay, yeah. Can't sell alcohol on Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. I know what you're talking about now. I do remember. Just needed a bit of a reminder of what, because I think I do remember reading about that back in high school, whatever.
Minnesota, we just got Sunday off sale, as we were talking about before, or the liquor stores being open basically on Sundays just happened like 2 years ago.
My dad had the UPS beer service when I was real young, so he'd always let me try one drink of the beers. I always hated them, but now I wonder how I feel about them. Yeah, for me, I never really got into drinking alcohol because And BatGoat and I were just talking about this before we got started. You know, I don't like the idea of losing control. And alcohol, that's exactly what it will do to you. It will knock out your inhibitions, and there's a good chance you will lose control if you get drunk. A lot of people have, and it's cost them quite a bit. And I don't like the idea of losing control. That's why I don't drink. It's kind of funny because there's probably been just one time in my life that I actually did have alcohol, but I didn't. And the reason I say probably because I'm not completely sure. Because this kind of happened. This kind of happened after I left. After high school, my young adult years, went to a friend's house for a party. One of them offered to get me a soda, and so of course, in my naivety, I said okay. And then as I'm about ready to drink the soda, something tells me, something just in me just says something's off here. And I look around and notice they're all looking at me like and BatGoat just stepped away, and I guess Woody's now having some technical issues again. But anyway, he went and came. It looked like Woody went and came back. So we lost you there, Woody.
And I had to go put some stank back on the mustache. It was getting a little flat there.
Yeah,
hey,
but anyway, so I'm looking around at these guys. It's like they're all staring at me. It's almost like they seem like like they're waiting for something to happen. I took a sip, and just looking at them, and I realized, okay, I should probably not drink any more of this. I went and dumped it out. And it did affect. It gave me a little bit more bravery in doing something that almost got me into some serious trouble if I hadn't had at least some semblance of reason still within me. But anyway, let me get caught up on some of these chats here. Oh, okay. We saw that one. Solid's asking myself, BatGoat, and everything. Are you going to watch Yellow Flash's stream tomorrow night?
I will try to make it. He usually cranks it up around like 10 o'clock my time, like 10 o'clock Central. But he's like he's hit or miss because he usually has a few drinks before he turns on his stream. So
I haven't been watching a whole lot of Flash or well, I know Tug hasn't really been doing a whole lot of videos. I haven't really. Yeah, it's kind of funny. A lot of the guys that got me into this in the first place, like Flash, like Zero Hay, like
Mike, Flash's streams are still fun though. Like if you ever went to,
I haven't been watching them a whole lot because it's like, for the most part, like Flash and Tug have been doing, and I know that. Oh, here's Woody with an avatar. I know Solid. You've had some criticisms on Tug. I mean, I like Tug, and I will check out his streams. Well, he hasn't been streaming really any lately, and I just found out why recently. But still, I mean, Tug's a cool guy, and I like talking to him. I mean, I would love to have him come onto my stream a few times, and give his words of wisdom or whatever. But what can you do, right? But I myself not really been going on to a whole lot of people. Been watching a whole lot of videos. Just when you have something like when you're pretty much subscribed to something like 20 to 30 YouTubers. It's tough to watch every single one of them. Sometimes you're just not interested.
I'm close to 100. I'm sub to almost 100 channels right now, and I try to watch the majority of them. I have bells on at least half of them. But that's all I do. I don't watch regular TV. I mean, like YouTube is my only way of connecting to the world right now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, some of it's just I'm like Flash, again, with a lot of his focus being more on mainstream media, that's just not something I'm really like. I like with Solid. One thing I agree with him with Tug on is I could really care less about the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard drama. I mean, it might be a different story if, let's say, I came home and found Amber Heard tied to my bed, but that's another story for another day. Dark humor, dark humor, dark humor.
Then you'd untie her and you'd have to clean up the 5 pounds of poop she left behind on your bed.
Yeah, you know what's kind of funny too. I remember as kind of, and I don't know if you were there, BatGoat, if you saw me ask this, but I actually, earlier on, right? I actually asked.
Is that the whiskey? Is that the Southern Comfort? Bottoms up. Skull.
Got a little 100-milliliter whiskey bottle here.
Yeah, I asked Tug and Yellow Flash kind of more as a joke. What would they do if they came home and found Renfamish tied to their bed? I remember Flash goes, "I'd run."
I'd run. I'd run screaming.
I mean, I can understand why they wouldn't want to engage in dark humor, just but anyways, but yeah, I don't know.
Thank you, toys.
But I haven't been watching because I just haven't been interested in a lot of stuff, and there are a lot of guys I just have not had as much interest in. I don't watch Nick streams a whole lot anymore. I don't,
I'm getting back into Nick. I've been watching more Nick lately. He's bringing up the fun level, right? Woody, I've seen you there too.
Nick's been
he's been bringing up the fun, and it's fun to be there, and all the old people are coming back, so it's good to get back into Nick's streams.
Plus, for
he's
me,
a sharp guy.
Nick is so smart. Nick is so smart, man. Oh, it's intimidating, honestly, and he plays it down. He really plays it down.
Yeah, I mean, for me, a big part of it too. Part of the reason why I stream, and part of the reason why I would want to go to a stream is because I want to be involved. And I like what we're doing right now. I like doing this. Granted, sometimes I may not always have the energy, but I like having the back and forth like what we're having right now because it's fun to be engaged. And just sitting there in the chat, and then like for the most part, if I really want something to be acknowledged, and even Tuggs told me I don't necessarily have to always do this. And this is sometimes why I'm like the, as he likes to call it on toy bounty hunter stream, why I turn out to be a stream daddy is because if I really want something acknowledged, I have to do a super chat.
Yeah. It worked though when you did it with Tug, and then as a Tug mod, I was like, hey everyone, let's go to Mike's channel. And then I'm like, with a lot of people on Tug's channel, whenever I put their links up, I said I'm just going to go to the channel and look at it, see what it's all about. And I saw a channel, I'm like, let me give him a try, and I just did. And
I
hanging out here.
Just for just streaming, I still will do some, I just haven't watched wrestling in a while because I just been busy with other things. But I'll probably be doing my short, when I get around to watching February in 1976, I'll get back to doing the squared circle calendar profile pieces as well. But anyways, let's get through some of these other, because I know there's a few there. Let's see. That's it. That's if you don't control. It's become associated with a parties, so people always overdrink. I used to black out and wake up on floats in bathrooms of puke. Ha ha ha. Well, I mean, I don't know if any of you remember Three's Company.
Gross, dude. That's gross.
Yeah. You guys, did you guys ever watch Three's Company? Woody, BatGoat, did you guys watch Three's Company? You remember the premiere episode? You remember the premiere episode?
I don't know.
Well, okay, so the premiere episode found Chrissy and Janet finding Jack in the bathtub because the night before they were sending off their previous roommate who had just gotten married. And then, of course, to sell the idea of Jack living with the two girls here in the late 70s, they had to tell Mr. Roper that Jack was gay. The premiere episode found Jack in the bath, like passed out in the bathtub from the night before the party.
I didn't know that.
Well, you guys said you'd seen it before, so I just didn't know if you remembered the premiere episode. That was a.
Hey, you didn't read the one from Toys. He said that he sent me an email. Toys, what day did you send that so I know to look? Because I have to read. It's not on purpose, but I have to relog into my Microsoft account daily, like a 2-factor authentication type of thing. So I need to log in, make the email seen by my computer, and then I'll have to go back and look for what day it was. So if I'm not active on my email, like I can miss them.
Yeah.
I'll be looking for that.
Solid. I always watch. Just depends when I get out of work. I love Anna's reaction to redo.
Okay, Toys, easy enough. I'll look for it and I will get back to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit behind on the chats, obviously here.
Yeah, burn through them. Sorry, I won't hold you.
Anna doesn't seem to know about anything other than Star Wars or Henry Cavill.
True.
She is an attractive young woman.
But it's knowledge base, yeah. That and like Mountain Dew and Cheetos. She's an expert on that as well.
Yeah. About Tug. Just found out.
Pixie sugar sticks.
She's
just found out. So damn glad.
She literally eats sugar every day. It's gonna catch up to her one day. Like overnight, she's gonna be like, "What the hell happened?"
Yeah. She's gonna probably look like me.
I hope not. She's a pretty girl.
So anybody's saying that's solid. Anna knows Cavill, Star Wars, dirt, and sugar. That's it. Ha ha ha.
And popping gross things, carbuncles on her toe.
And then solid saying to me. Tug was one of the first anti-SJW channels I discovered and was my gateway to the rest. But now his content doesn't do it for me anymore. Well, yeah, I mean,
he's in a rut. He'll get through it. I've seen this before with Tug. He'll get through it. He'll come back and he'll start streaming again.
Yeah, I mean, well, I had heard, yeah, and
I've been with Tug.
I don't want to mention too much of it because I think you and I had talked about it.
Yeah. I'm coming up on 3 years that I've been with Tug, and I've seen him do this before.
Had mentioned me some. Yeah. Well, I mean, I got into Tug, during the Vic story. So, and I'm
using the bullshit math since it's 21, that's 2018. But since it's 21 now, you can round up a little bit, say almost 3 years, make yourself sound cooler.
Yeah. I mean, I like Tug's a cool guy to talk to. And,
he is.
I mean, and like what we're doing right now over the screen here. If we were let's say, if we were all at a convention or something, or just in the same area, and we got together at a restaurant, something like that, just hung around, had lunch together, I'd love that. Just pick everybody's brains like we do here, But as Solid has mentioned, I think he's been so focused, one of the things that got me interested in some of his other content too. Like one of the things he was doing there for a while was he was looking at the money side of the comics industry, the sales numbers. That seemed pretty interesting too.
That That's back when we used to call it the morning tug, because it was about 8 or 9 o'clock Central every morning. I remember, like we'd get our coffees. I was the very first one of his fans to buy a "Hey there" coffee mug when he had them on the store. Like I bought one that day, and I was his first purchase.
Yeah.
I took a picture of it and sent it to his Twitter back when he used to Twitter.
And I was very honored that he made me a mod on his channel, because I'm, again, prior to getting involved with like Tug and Hero Hay and Nick and all that and Yellow Flash and all them, I would just come on and just watch stuff on YouTube. I didn't even think of trying, and then after a while, after realizing, hey, I wanted to say some stuff on this stuff too, seeing them kind of inspired me to give it a shot myself, and look where I'm at now.
Yep. Very cool.
So, they're cool guys. I mean, I'd love to hang out with them if we ever got the chance to, but with everything the way it is right now, yeah. So let's see. My old account was subbed to like 350. It's up to like 60, 70 right now. So.
Chugging with Woody.
Oh, let's see now. Wait, what? Solid Redfield Gaming. To me, Gina Carano, their new favorite thing to talk about now. Yeah. I've seen a lot.
But that's such a good news. That's such a feel good story. We're gonna win. This is the thing that's gonna topple KK. I'm predicting it in a hopeful way. I'm not saying like, dude, mark my words, it's gonna happen. I see it because I want to see it. I want this to be the beginning of the end for KK. It could be
Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice, you guys?
Normies
are talking about it. That's the thing I heard on like four different uploaders, 4 different content creators said, I heard a normie talking about this. I went somewhere, I was talking to a normie who said, oh, the Mandalorian and Gina Carano, it's normies know about it. So that's good for our side.
From what I understand, Gina Carano is a multifaceted individual, because she's an actress now, but she actually, from if I remember hearing correctly, didn't she come from like the UFC background?
MMA, yes. UFC. Yeah, big time. Real, yeah.
Yeah. I better get through these chats, because you guys see the time there?
Yeah.
It's an hour and 40, so we're gonna need to be wrapping up soon here. Oh, Woody from Anonymity. And then ATC says, laugh out loud, BatGoat hit a home run with Bird. Laugh out loud. Set their bed on fire. We didn't start.
That's from
fire.
The Renfamous comment, I think, is what.
Yeah. We didn't start the fire. It was a broken furnace, and the world is turning. Anyways, it's amazing people like her can be so infamous, is the word. Let's see. But yeah, her career is a literal under the bridge troll. Yeah. I mean, I haven't even mentioned Infamous in a long time. So, well, I mean, again, one of the things I like what we've been doing the last. Yeah, okay, I get you, BatGoat. Yeah, sometimes I get sidetracked with things.
You're winding something up. What are you?
Let up.
Short on time.
Yeah. Let's see. Enemy says Nick's legal analysis. Well, let's just say his track record is pretty good so far. Okay, and then Leto saying to me,
squawk.
Yeah. Leto saying to me, you beat me as a stream daddy multiple times. Yeah, on Toy Bounty Hunter stream tonight. Whoa. And it's ha ha ha. BatGoat, here's a quote for you. Here's our solid saying something.
Screaming about Depp Heard or something else. I did see that before, but I didn't want to interrupt Mike. And I think you were talking. You're talking about when I said Tug will start streaming again. I've seen this before, and he may start streaming about Depp Heard, saying like, "Here's my thought on this." And then when he does that, if he's had a few drinks, he'll start wandering into just like an open-ended stream that goes 1 or 2 hours, and the people really dig it, and it's fun to hang out with them. Yeah. And sometimes Lug will show up when he does that, or just like when he turns on the mic, when he's just like, "Hey, I just wanted to talk to you guys." Those are like his funnest streams, and I'm expecting those to come back at some point, and his whole family, the chat will come back together, and it'll be fun.
If he starts having those streams, I might go check those out. If he had like just kind of the hangout scenes, because there was one. Before I get back to the comments, I want to say this, just to be clear on this. I remember a while back on one of Tug's streams, I started talking to him about like old cartoons and stuff, and I would love to start having another one of those kind of conversations with him again. That was the one where where he was reminded of the Inhumanoids cartoon, and we were talking about that. I don't know if you were there or not, BatGoat, but that was fun. I'd like to do more of that with him. And then Solid saying to me, I was once an RGE mod. Yeah, I haven't really got into Raging Golden Eagle, and I like
him on Yellow Flash. I like him when he shows up on Flash stream, but I don't watch him.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of it. I've checked out a couple of his streams, but the fact is he uses the R word too much for my taste. So,
yeah. Sure.
So, anonymity seems like it's about at the point where it's all about to pop.
We're getting close.
Well, what BatGoat? What you might have picked up more on what you all think is about to pop? Anything
in the news. We could have said Biden. We could have said Depp Heard. We could anything bad and BS with the SJWs.
You think things are about to really explode? Like I've been saying.
I'm hoping
Civil War.
I don't think it's going Civil War. I think, like my prediction, there was new talk today. Tim Pool brought up Oregon. There's Oregon counties that want to secede, make a new state.
Actually, I do remember hearing there was, I think there was a county in southeastern, or a couple of counties, some counties in southeast Oregon that, along with Idaho and California, had wanted to succeed and form their own state. So
the West, Southeast. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, that was the one. So that's my hopeful prediction, is that things will start slowly trickling over to like, we're going to separate ourselves from these people, and life will go on.
She's MMA. She's MMA and was on American Gladiator reboot. Okay, I remember the American Gladiators from the 80s, early 90s. Nick's not streaming tonight, it seems. Yeah, I know he's been running kind of ragged late, because there have been some days he's actually streamed twice in a day. He's been streaming twice a lot lately. So I know he had
I watched a stream last night, and then like I get up and I see that he's already streaming at the CPAC, and I'm like, dude, you're crazy.
He did that all day.
He's nuts.
I'm always at work.
He's skinny though, so I bet you like, even though he can sit in that chair for a long time and do the show, I bet you when he's up, he's just going. He's got like one of those high metabolism, high energy. He's always turning and burning type of people. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, I'm always at work when Tug does stream.
Tug just has not streamed. I don't think he's streamed in the last week.
Yeah. He hasn't been streaming a whole lot lately. He's been his streams have been pretty sporadic.
I think it's easy for him though to like, this is what he can focus on, what he wants to focus on, and he can cut a couple simple videos to it once or twice a day and still take care of Tug. So I'm cool with it. I'm stand sub to him.
Take care of Tug or Lug?
Tug. He went, take care of himself and whatever's going on.
BatGoat Solid's got something to say to you here.
Star Wars was a leftist vehicle from its inception. Is this the thing working? Are we good? Okay. Sorry. From its inception, and I don't know why it got infected by wokeness recently, which, I think, don't we all kind of agree that the wokeness infestation started with KK and The Force Awakens? A lot of people, I mean, I haven't seen any of them, and I try to distance myself from knowing anything about the canon and the story. I just don't want to know. It's called media contagion. I'm like, I forcefully have to shut things down. It's not easy to do. So I think that's my guess. I want to say 4 or 5 years now is when all the wokeness started with Star Wars, and it's been slowly getting worse and worse.
Okay. And then I guess Solid asked me R word. The R word is basically a derogatory term used towards people who are developmentally disabled. That a lot of people, unfortunately, have used in common speech.
Lot of people say it and don't realize how mean and hurtful it is.
Yeah. And that's not me being an SJW or being woke or anything. It's just
I know a lot of people who get upset when that word is mentioned, and I agree. It's not cool.
To me, the R word for disabled people is equivalent to like what the N word would be for somebody who's African American. Okay. Or the K word that rhymes with my name for people who are of Jewish descent. So,
Mike, no, I'm sorry, Mike, but I gotta correct you on that. No Gen Zs know what a kike is. They just don't. They're not They're not connected to the 20th century like we are. They just don't. It's not in TV. It's not taught in books. It's just a thing that the old guard brings around with them, and no one says it anymore. That's my take on it. And I've told you my dad was Jewish, so as a half Jew, I think I'm a little into it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a half Jew myself.
Yeah, my friends always used to say, "You're a fake half Jew. Your mom's got to be Jewish for you to be a half Jew." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." They wouldn't allow me in the Jonathan Club. That's anti-Semitism. Like, stop it.
Okay. It's anonymity says here it's about to pop. More and more people are calling out the fake activism.
Very true.
Leto said, "Oh right, I remember her in Gladiator. She was hot.
She still is hot.
She's very.
I love Cara Dune. That's
and then Leto's also saying Nick streamed in the morning, and I think I do remember seeing the notification at some point. I think he was streaming from CPAC or something like that.
I don't believe Daisy Ridley could punch me in the face and it would hurt, but I do believe Cara Dune could.
If little Mary Sue Palpatine punched me in the face, I would go, "Oh, sweetie, thank you." If Cara Dune punched me in the face, I'd get up and be like, pretending I'm not seeing 3 of them. And I'd go, they'd say, "Are you okay, BatGoat?" And I'd go, "Thursday." Standing on 1 foot.
Ghostbusters 2016 from Anonymity. I don't know. Is the earliest I remember.
I'm giving myself a point on that one.
I
don't think that's fair.
Solid's got something to say to you here. You might wanna...
Solid says, "I was trying to say Star Wars was always woke. Lucas even said that the Empire's America and the Ewoks were the Viet Cong." I don't quite see that parallel, dude. Because the Ewoks were good guys. Like, they were with us. They kind of fought together.
That's why it's left.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. What do you like?
And then Anonymity saying here, Gina beat Cyborg, I'm pretty sure. Okay. All right, so yeah, we're almost at the 2-hour mark, so I think it's a good time to wrap up. Are you guys ready for this day in niche history?
Yeah. Yeah, some niche history. Sounds good, King.
All right, and then
Niche it up, King.
Here, you guys can also comment on the topics as you may.
This is your show. You roll on niche.
2020. Yeah, but it's always nice to have some
I love the Southern Comfort shots, man. That's awesome.
So, all right. Well, now that. So, anyways,
sip it like me.
Yeah, neat stuff. Sip it. Is that what you said?
I said digging it.
It's just that my liquor costs about 1/100th.
Yeah,
maybe
Nick some expensive
had that activist bug like that awful actress who betrayed our troops.
Oh God, he's talking about Jane Fonda. Yeah,
beat it up.
That's so horrible. That still hurts my heart. I was a little kid in the Civil Air Patrol, and I knew, I was reading nonfiction books on Vietnam, and when I first started when I understood it, and I could put two and two together, and I heard what these grown men were saying, and they were crying. The one dude was crying because he was in a POW camp when the first time he heard Jane Fonda saying that.
Yeah. So, and then BatGoat Solid said to you here, yeah, Lucas was saying that the Viet Cong were the good guys, America was the bad guy.
Is that right? I'm going to look that one up.
BTW, by the way, have any of you guys ever been to Kiwi Farm? I tried going there once, but I couldn't figure it out. So anyways, let's get to niche history here.
That's about my experience with them, too.
I've never been to Kiwi Farm.
Where's the good stuff? I couldn't, and then I did.
Okay, so without any further ado, today... Oh, that was the wrong one anyway. So.
It's a gossip site.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a gossip site with fangs because you don't want to get doxxed.
Big fangs, yeah.
They're scary. I don't like them, but I
good sources.
I try to watch my mouth when I think they're kind of dumb and think they're so cool. I'm like, I better not say that too loud, even though I just did.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so today is the last weekday of February for 2021. Today is Friday, February the 26th. So when you all come back on Monday, it'll be March. So
I gotta pay rent again.
What was that?
I gotta pay rent again.
So let's take a look back on this day in niche history. This Friday, February 26th, 2021. And the first stop we're going back 25 years to 1996. On this day in 1996, WCW held Monday Nitro from the Knoxville Civic Coliseum in Knoxville, Tennessee. In the main event of the night, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, and the Booty Man, who most of you would probably know better as Brutus Beefcake.
Yeah, was he the Booty Man?
Yeah, he was the Booty Man in WCW. That was one of the.
I do vaguely remember that.
Yeah, he had a number of different gimmicks he went by. The Booty Man was because when he went to WCW from the WWF, he could not use the Brutus Beefcake.
Yeah,
character.
Vince must have owned the Brutus Beefcake. Yeah.
Right. So, and of course, going by his real name, Ed Leslie, wasn't going to work either, But anyways, and the Booty Man would defeat Arn Anderson, Kevin Sullivan, and Ric Flair with Miss Elizabeth and Woman in their corner. Of course, this is around the time when they were playing up the whole the alliance to end the Hulkamania gimmick or storyline, in which the Four Horsemen and the Dungeon of Doom got together to try to eliminate Hulk Hogan and all the faces who would team up with him. That was the main event. Also on the card in the number one contenders match for the WCW World Tag Team titles, the Road Warriors would defeat Harlem Heat. This is still kind of like towards the end of their run. They weren't the same. But this is probably one of their last big shots. I know they still had another time in the WWF. They went back in '97 to the WWF. That's when Hawk, aka Mike Hegstrand, had his issues pop up. But Lex Luger would defeat the Renegade. Sting would defeat Big Bubba Rogers. And then in one of the dark matches prior to the event, Johnny B. Bad retained the WCW World Television title from Diamond Dallas Page. Johnny B. Bad would later
I'm
go
a bad man.
Oh, you remember
I
that?
love Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah. He would later go on after leaving WCW. Of course, he went when he went to the WWE. He went under his real name, Mark Marrow. For a while there. So back on this date, 25 years ago, from the Knoxville Civic Center, WCW held its Monday Nitro. So let's see there. Oh, you say now? I just wait for Nick or Flash or whoever to show the germs from the farms.
The gems.
The gems. I met Ric Flair. Anonymity said I met Ric Flair a few years ago. He was a big guy. Big guy generally in life. Yeah, he's listed according to what I've seen on some sites. He's listed at like 5'11", 234. That's what he's billed at. So, and he was a lot big when he first started in professional wrestling. He was actually pretty big. It was only because of the plane crash that he actually took on a different training regimen. Prior to the plane crash in October of '75, Ric Flair was on his way to becoming more like the Valentines, Johnny and Greg Valentine. But anyways,
what's Kitty's name?
Her name's Dee Dee.
Dee Dee. Hello, Dee Dee.
Well, somebody called her Kiki earlier.
That's close. You remembered. So, Dee Dee.
So anyway, so moving on then to the next piece of niche history. We go back 10 years ago today to 2011. On this date in 2011. Maycross Frontier, the movie, The Wings of Goodbye, was released by Satellite Studios. So Maycross Frontier, the movie, The Wings of Goodbye, was released by Satellite Studios. Maycross is the franchise that Woody, myself, and BatGoat would know better as Robotech.
Robotech from the 80s. That was, in my opinion, and growing up in LA, I consider myself I had my kind of ear to the ground. I knew what was going on. That would be what I consider to be America's first big introduction to anime. Yeah. Was when Robotech was on TV. Now I know Speed Racer had been on, and like Kimba the Lion had been on American TV and other bull stuff.
Well, yeah, there were a number of anime,
but they didn't have the popularity like Robotech did. Robotech swept. It was so popular when I was in junior high to high school when that was on, and like us little geek kids knew about it. It was huge.
Well, of course, back in the 50s and 60s, you had Astro Boy that came over, Gigantor, Speed Racer, as you mentioned, and now here's something you may not know, but do you guys remember Battle of the Planets? Do you remember Battle of the Planets?
No.
Okay, Battle of the Planets was the 1978 dub of Science Ninja Team Gatchaman. Okay, it was basically these group of heroes who dressed up like birds and had the big G on their belt buckle.
You get what I'm saying, Mike, though? That didn't have a huge slice of the Nielsen ratings, where Robotech became a primetime thing that was massive. And in like 1984, 1985, when they put it on American TV, it was huge. It drew in big ratings.
In Voltron,
that's why I say that's what I consider to be America's first eye-opening to anime.
Real introduction into.
That's my opinion. I could be wrong.
So anyway, moving on then. So move on to the next piece of niche history here. going back to 5 years ago today. On this date, 5 years ago today, Chick Figures, which was a YouTube, I guess a Mondo YouTube cartoon that was a spin-off series of Dick Figures, was canceled on this day in 2016. So I just picked it because it would happen to be the day it was done on. So there's that. And finally, to hit the last piece of niche history, which we go back just 1 year ago today. This time on this date last year in 2020. The 1020th issue of Action Comics went on sale from DC Comics when they reestablished Volume 1. Okay, Volume 1 of Action Comics had initially ended in 2011. Then I think they went with Volume 2 for a few years, and then they brought Volume 1 back. So this is the 1020th issue of Volume 1 of Action Comics. Think about that. Now, remember, Action Comics started way back in 1938. We'll be talking about it somewhere down the line when we get to that point. We're, of course, still in the early part of 37, which we'll be doing next week. We'll be hitting up February of 1937 next week. So when we come back to the comic side of it. But, and look who the writer on this was. Brian Michael Bendover Bendis. Anyways.
What? Where? What? Who?
Brian Michael.
The writer. Oh.
Yeah, the writer is Brian Michael Bendis, who Flash goes off on a lot.
Yeah, no, I know that.
And I
SJW name.
Since I know his last name is Bendis, I kind of jokingly call
him
Bend over.
Yeah.
Because he probably does bend over quite a bit.
Probably.
If you get what I mean. Okay, so anyways.
And there's nothing wrong with that, you bigot. There should be a rainbow flag on every website.
Anyways. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining. I thank everybody for joining me, and I thank you guys for all the likes and shares. Monday we'll be back to our normal stuff of going through news articles and stuff. Hopefully I'll have enough rest and I won't be dragging. I won't be doing that too much. Of course, I know that Bounding in Comics has been doing that indie comic column, which I think has been pretty cool to read through, and I hope you guys have been enjoying that. And then, of course, next Friday we get back into comic history. When we look at February 1937, one of the books we'll be looking at a little bit will be the first issue of Detective Comics. Now, I read to many of you before the Slam Bradley story from that comic. I won't be reading that this time because we just did read it. I'll probably be reading one of the other stories in there, but among other things. But anyways, I think this will be a good time to wrap up. Real quick.
Apparently, I won the BatGoat LOL contest tonight. I was impressed with myself and that one little stand-up routine I did. So sorry, guys. So because Dave wasn't here, Leto or Anon? Which one of you is friends with Dave Marks? I don't know if you guys are friends on Minds or something. Tell him that next Friday I've got an appointment with my stylist, so I'm gonna have a professional. And when he won last week, he said he wanted a curl, so I'm gonna get a professional curl next Friday. So tell Dave to be here.
Yeah. I would like to see him come back too. I mean, just, have him here. I mean, but anyways, guys, I thank you guys for joining me tonight. BatGoat, I'm just going to let you go tonight. No post show, nothing necessary there. I think
sounds good. Sounds good.
Give everybody a chance to go and get some rest. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. And I do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on Monday. I'll see everybody on Monday. Bye. And BatGoat Arena. You can go ahead and leave, Woody. All you have to do is just... Bye. Oops. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off like that. Okay. All right, he's gone now. Okay, so here we go. Bye. Okay, everybody. Bye.